What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and we are back ready to continue the walkthrough. So real fast, I'm sure a lot of you are curious. We can use the both Great Machete and the Greatsword now, but as you can see in the top right corner, the weight ratio is quite a bit above that 70% threshold that I told you guys about. So we're going to avoid that for now. I do plan on using this eventually, but I'll need to get my vitality up by quite a bit to really make Guts kind of come full circle. So from leaving this bonfire, you can see right there, that's the door we had to do. And we're going to use this as our first indicator. Right here is where we picked up our bone shard. And you can see we have a nice little series of bonfires that we are able to follow again. Now, if you want, there are some items over there. You can grab those first or like grab now, grab them later. Whatever tickles your fancy. Just for the sake of cohesion, we'll just go over and we'll snag those up now. We already got our Titanite. Our Nameless Knight set comes up a little bit from now, but we'll go grab this stuff while we're here as well. This should be our Sword Grass. There's our Estus Soup right there. There's our Sunlight Talisman. There's the Sword Grass. This is an item used to level up in that covenant, the Wolf's Covenant that we joined last episode. And some good old Estus Soup. So we can see that's the bonfire we ran from, or not the bonfire, excuse me, the fire checkpoint. Here's the other one. We're going to go back over to that. And you can see now we're in full fat rolling swamp, so do keep that in mind. We'll run on over there. I believe this is the Nameless Knight set. Yes, indeed. Doesn't look nearly as cool as the Fallen Knight set. You can see we have some glowies right there, and that is 2 pieces of Titanite. So since Yellowfinger Heisel came, we're going to actually back up very briefly. And the only reason for this is, as you can see, rather large, threatening-looking enemy over there. Now, they aren't all that bad, in honesty. They do have some very powerful attacks that can hurt, but all in all, you can dodge them and take them down with relative ease. But despite that, we don't want to fight them and an invader at the same time. So waiting to see where Yellowfinger is at, and he does not seem to be coming. So perhaps instead we'll just continue back on, deal with the big boy, and then handle Yellowfinger a little bit later. So the big guy is pathing. We're gonna try and get over to that fire to fight him. You can see he drops a big old tree stump, and every time he swings it, it also summons up these red souls that you're seeing. So it can be quite a difficult enemy to fight, especially because you're slowed in the swamp. So try and make it over to this fire. You can see now that I have a bit more mobility, it'll be a little bit easier. Just trying to avoid those, avoid getting hit by the tree stump, as you see right there. Hit by both the tree stump and those red skulls he's summoning. It does do quite a bit of damage, making them probably one of the more difficult enemies we faced up until now. And we got our 2 Titanite shards. So we have one more of those guys coming up, and he'll be actually following us up here. He's kind of off in that area over there, but we're going to try and get over. There he is. Try and get it over here first so we're not having to fight him on bad terrain. There we go. Now, feel free to bring him up here, but don't go too far with him, because there's a rather threatening enemy up ahead. Oh, man. Man, they are brutal. Oh, nope, I might get hit hard. Lucked out there. Spoiled by my dexterity build, where I was able to get in 3 katana swings per roll. Now I'm only getting in 2. There we go. So he is down. Despite that, we have burned through all of our Estus. But that's okay. We've made it on over, and here's the 3rd flame that we need to extinguish. See, the path to the Abyss Watchers is now opening up. Alright, now around this corner we're going to run into another one of those very uppity enemies, the ones that like to hop and jump around. Oh, there's Yellowfinger Heisel. Perfect time for you. Now we're going to be quite careful here. We don't want to fight him and that enemy at the same time. We're going to try and get him to come over this way. On the dexterity build, he fought us out in the swamp. We're going to take advantage of the sharpen effect of the butcher's knife. Ooh, man, Heisel. Oh, and he's actually going to take us down. Not too shabby. Well, bit of a bad situation, making it all the way over here with no Estus, so... and obviously the big factor in that is getting past those tree guys, which I was a little overzealous on in comparison to the dexterity playthrough where I was a bit quicker. So we're not too far though. We will pop our Ember to get back that extra health, even though you don't need to. And as you can see, the doors over there are now open. Now these slugs, one thing I want to point out is you can see kind of like as we're running by them, because of how shiny they are, very frequently you may think they're an item. Just keep in mind that the slugs do have that bit of shine to them, and it's a little bit misleading because you're going to just be like, ooh, this is shiny, and then you run over there to get an item, and lo and behold, there is no item, just a slug vomiting all over you. Oh, the AoE. There we go. That went much smoother than the last time we encountered them. Hopefully a Heisel comes back so we can teach him a lesson. Let's see if I can't pull the other one. I love how he's like positioned just enough around the tree that you can't see him until you get up here. So we're gonna run and grab our souls first. Now the one thing to look for is anytime he makes the red souls, he's not gonna do the AoE explosion thing right there. As you can see, no souls came out, and instead he went for the explosion. So we're gonna heal up. After the last episode, you guys were probably wondering, like, what the hell was he talking about with this area being hard? And you run into those things. So it doesn't look like Heisel's going to reinvade. If he does, it might be in a little bit. So we're going to try and sneak up behind this guy for a backstab. Nope, not going to happen. But we got him down. That was easy enough. So from there, we're going to... Oh, there we go. Heisel's coming out to play. I just saw him. He was right there. Where did you go, Heisel? Oh, I see. You have... I think he has like an invisibility spell up or something. Whoa! Alright, that was entirely unexpected. That pick did way more damage than I would have ever thought it could do. There we go. Heisel is down. You may notice we got some Estus back. One of the great things about invaders in this game is getting your Estus replenished after they fall. So from here, let's see. Alright, we're going to swing around back and grab this stuff first. And then we're going to come back over here. Now there are some enemies that have the curse, or as it was previously known as petrification, right in this area, so keep that in mind. And if you actually follow this path all the way back, this would actually be back where we first started. Oh god, no! Wow! I did not think I was in that curse nearly long enough to get hit. But yet, here we are, cursed with 18,000 souls, and we've been turned into crystals. So this is actually back near the start of the bonfire, so it's not too bad that we died, because we can kind of come first circle with this and show us how to get over to that area. So we're going to jump back to the original Farron Keep bonfire. But there's quite a few items over there still. Large soul, repair powder. Most importantly, the scroll that's in the cave, as well as the antiquated set. So that's the big stuff that we want to grab. The rest of it is kind of optional loot that's not all that important. I mean, technically everything in the game is optional loot, but I would suggest grabbing the soul just so that, or excuse me, the scroll, just so that in the event that you ever decide you want to play around with sorceries, you have those spells available. So we're going to hold off on popping our Ember for a little bit here. We're going to be having to fat roll momentarily here, but we'll get as far as we can before fat rolling. Do I have a curse spite ring? I do not. That comes later. So this is why I suggested following the fires. As you can see, going through this path, rather obnoxious. You know, you're just forced to fat roll the entirety of the way. The biggest thing here is avoiding that mist. As you can see, that mist builds up quite fast. Attacking them can interrupt it, but as it builds up, I think that might have been the first time that you guys have gotten to see what happens when you're afflicted with curse. So, as you now know, it's not a fun thing to deal with. But these guys aren't that bad. Usually you can just, you know, roll like I did right there and take them out. It's fighting them in multiples where it gets to become a pain. So we got our lost souls. Remember the items right around this, I believe, for our large soul and our repair powder. There's our large soul. Where's our damn repair powder? The repair powder might actually be deeper back in now that I'm thinking about it. So we're not going to worry about that. I mean, weapon degradation isn't really a major concern in Dark Souls, so we're going to pass on the repair powder and just skip it. But there is one back over that way. So there's some items right here that are fairly noticeable. Don't worry about those. We're going to end up getting those later. You get them from a separate area, at which point after getting them you can roll back down into this area. We'll just end up grabbing them in homeward boning. Keep going. Maybe that's my repair powder. It might be. Let's see. Looking at my list. Yeah, I had large soul first. That's likely the repair powder right there. Yes, it is. Alright. So now, on this little kind of circular area, just remember that we're able to fast roll again. That'll be kind of your indicator. And we have this cave back here. So go on in. Pick up your golden scroll. And pop this open. Get yourself the antiquated set. From there, we're going to head back to the bonfire real fast. We can just follow this wall. If we just take this on over, you can see some of our favorite fun time enemies over there. We're just going to ignore him for now. That's actually the one we fought earlier. And we're going to run on over to the bonfire, rest up, and then there's a couple other items we're going to get kind of over in this this region over to our right. So some of them are significant. In particular, we have a Sage Scroll to pick up, so another scroll for more sorceries. And then on top of that, the first Poison Gem, so if you're going for a Poison build, so you'll want to get that as well. Now, I would suggest not being embered right here. There's going to be a part where we're basically going to do a suicide run just because of what we're up against. But we'll touch on that when we get to it. So from here, just follow the wall to the right. Lure the crab over to the tree. And you may remember from earlier, our buddy with the great bow. A lot of people are saying it's go. I don't remember go looking like that, so I'm not sure if it's go, but just come on over this way. And then just kind of chill here. Keep up your guard. And as you can see, he'll take care of that crab for you. So you're going to start picking up items. There's our Crown of Dusk. And White Branch. There's our Lingering Dragon Crest Ring. That's from the crab dying. The loot we picked up was the Ember. Golden Pine Bundle. Large Soul of an Unknown Traveler. Should be another White Branch. Alright, so now we're going to hold to this right wall here. Just stick next to that wall. Little throwback to Dark Souls 1 here. Poor mushroom people, they're all dead. Grab the Sage Scroll. Now, here's where things get a bit tricky. So, as you can see, we have 3 of our favorite giant, I guess we'll call them wood wraiths, I don't know. But just run on in. Oh god, no. They are not having my tactics. They have the Poison Gem. Owie. Now, I typically would not recommend just running in Souls, but these guys are just not... It's like fighting one of them is difficult, let alone fighting 3. So we got our gem. I'm just going to roll the hell on out of here. I mean, if you want to go ahead and take 3 on and be my guest, to me, that's a death wish. And I don't comply with death wishes. One last thing. Titanite Shard. And now we're good. Back where the bonfire's at. Take this guy out. So we're going to go up ahead a little bit more before we wrap up this episode, just to reach the next bonfire. There's still the Abyss Watcher left, so we are going to cut this episode a little bit short. First thing we're going to do, we're going to grab this Shriving Stone right here. Don't worry about these enemies just yet. Get that. And then we'll save the Abyss Watchers for the next episode, as well as kind of catching up to some stuff that's changed over in Firelink Shrine, as well as some other things that have occurred in the world that are missable. Oh god. We are now in a bad situation. Go on up. Bring them up here. So yeah, you guys may remember this from the Road of Sacrifice, how I discussed killing the casters very quick, and what you're seeing right now is exactly why that's so important. Trying to fight a bunch of the monkey bird things when they're all pissed off and going crazy is not fun, but we got them. Whew, hellish beasts. So from here, just run, make a sharp turn, not yet, up this path a little bit is going to be our sharp turn. And here we are over at the bonfire. And we are set. So now that we've reached the perimeter, couple other items coming up still for us to grab. For those curious, we have a Crystal Beast Great Magic Weapon, Atonement, which is a spell, our first Hollow Gem, an Ember, Blackbud Pellet, and then the boss. So we are going to be taking on the Abyss Watchers in the next episode, so thanks for coming on by, guys. Definitely got a little bit tricky this time around. As I mentioned, this area in general is a little bit more difficult, especially because of those giant, I don't know, curse woods or whatever we want to call them. But anyway, we will catch you guys in the next episode as we take on the boss of this